Now, in just a few hours' time, in the hotly disputed island state of Taiwan, just off the coast of China, voters will go to the polls in what could be its most crucial presidential election for decades. As China continues to ramp up the pressure over its demand for reunification, three candidates are competing for the job in a vote no doubt being closely monitored in Beijing. Lai Ching-te, who's the current vice president, is a staunch supporter of Taiwan's continuing independence, whereas the opposition party candidate Hu Yui has called for closer relations with mainland China, while a different emphasis is offered by a third candidate, the former mayor of the capital, Taiwan, Ko Wen-je. His campaign, focusing on economic issues, seems to have struck a chord with younger voters.
In an election framed as a choice between war and peace, the Democratic Progressive Party rallied its supporters on the final night with promises to stand up to Xi Jinping. Any mention of China was met with boos and shouts of no from the crowd. This has been a much closer contest than expected, and the families, young and old, who had flocked to this last campaign rally were left with no doubt that every one of their votes would matter. Taiwan has become a country where office workers like Jenny are preparing for conflict. She has started teaching classes in treating combat injuries.
We know that China is our enemy. We are doing this just for our next generation. I myself is a mother and want to protect my child. And I hope that she can live in a very safe and free society.
On the eve of the election, Beijing ramped up its intimidation of voters with a propaganda video showing Chinese bomber planes running training drills. The Communist Party has also waged a campaign of disinformation on social media.
In these days, I have seen so much weird things on the internet.
Young voters were targeted by many of the online messages, and these students said it was hard to find clear policies on anything other than China.
I don't see that much difference between the old three parties about this kind of issues like economy or maybe health insurance, this kind of issues. But they got a very different position when it comes to the relationship with China.
Whatever choice they make at the ballot box on Saturday, all sides agree they don't want this vote to be the last.
Thousands of people have come out to join these final election rallies, and the energy and the enthusiasm in this crowd shows just how passionate people here are about their democracy. Having the freedom to vote, being able to stand in public and shout out loud your political views is something not taken for granted by anyone in Taiwan.
With Beijing poised to respond, global stability might depend on what Taiwan decides. Debbie Edward, News at 10, Taipei.